In this video, we're going to be breaking down a roof rack extension that a customer of ours shared. This is really cool, and we love seeing projects like this because George said that he bought this Yakima roof rack for hauling, looks like, just a storage, I forget what those are called, but the travel containers on top of the roof rack. But in doing so, he kind of eliminated his ability to haul his kayak and paddleboard on top of his truck. He said you can kind of strap it to the top of that container, but it doesn't really look great, and it's just really not the most practical use of materials and everything. So he wanted to build an extension off of this that he could then, haul his kayak and paddleboard, which is really cool. And we don't see a photo of the kayak and paddleboard in place because I don't think he's finished with the build yet, but he said this is kind of a mock-up of the design, and it's working great so far, so he's going to kind of finish it off and complete the build. But basically, he just grabbed onto the existing roof rack using the 1-inch T-connectors from MakerPipe, and we manufacture those here in South Carolina, and we send those all over the country. People build all kinds of things with them, just like this, which is really cool. And basically, he just grabbed onto that existing roof bar and then used 1-inch EMT conduit with some verticals going up, and then those verticals kind of stop and are, just a few inches from the roof rack here, and basically just go up, terminates inside of the T-connector, goes up, and then stops there. And then it looks like the same thing in the back. And he did that to allow him to basically have these other verticals that actually sit inside and go all the way down, but it's smaller pipe. It's 3/4 inch EMT conduit, and that's going all the way down and then sitting in the 1-inch EMT conduit and just going down and kind of secured in there, which obviously isn't the greatest thing if it's not secured, but it looks like that what I would imagine is he's using these D-rings here to basically secure the kayak and paddleboard and kind of cinch everything down at the same time, if that makes sense. So puts the paddleboard kayak on there and then cinches down those to the roof rack that he built, and then at the same time that's also securing it to the Yakima roof rack because of these D-rings here. So basically those verticals go up, and then he's using the 3/4 inch T connectors from MakerPipe here, and basically just using those to grab on. Let's see, he's got them at the very top of the vertical piece to basically attach to the horizontal bar that's running continuously through the T connector and going from one side to the other over there. And then, of course, he's doing the same thing back here. That's going from one side to the other. And then he's using a couple more T connectors down here in the middle to basically secure this piece of conduit that's running from side to side, just to add some additional bracing there. And then I imagine it's mirrored exactly the same way on the other side. And then, of course, the paddleboard and the kayak are just going to sit on top of this, and then again just going to be secured down and cinched down to this rack. So nice and simple project, but looks like it gets the job done, and he said it's working well, and he's just going to kind of test it out a little bit more and then kind of finalize the design. So hopefully we'll see it in action here soon, but really cool to see this so far, and a great idea. And a lot of people are concerned with building things like this because they're afraid the connectors are going to like rattle loose or something. But we've talked to a lot of builders. There was a guy that built a roof rack for their travel van, and he traveled all over the country, put thousands of miles on it, said he never had an issue with the connectors coming loose. And really the way they're designed, they kind of spring back against the nut and bolt, and so we imagine that really helps a lot with this kind of thing. And of course you could use Loctite and kind of help, or you could use some self-tapping screws, some different ideas, but it's not something that people have had issues with, and I understand why it's a concerning thing. Obviously we don't want these falling apart and hitting cars and people or anything like that, so definitely be safe when you're building stuff for your vehicles, but that is something that we haven't really seen people have a lot of issues with, so that's great, of course. And just really awesome job. Thanks so much, George, for sharing this. If you want to see these photos in more detail, check out the link down below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.